Welcome to Beyond Belief, where we dive deep into the power of healing and transformation. I'm your host, Sabine Poncelet, and today I'm excited to introduce my special guest, Andre Paradis. Andre is a relationship coach and NLP practitioner who has a powerful story. Growing up with absent parents, he didn't have a guide for healthy relationship, but through hard work, he learned how to build strong, lasting connection and now helps others to do the same. In his practice, Andre uses his knowledge of psychology, anthropology, and communication to help people overcome past trauma and break free from unhealthy relationship patterns. He emphasizes the importance of healing and self-worth as the foundation for creating fulfilling relationships. Andre has been happily married to his wife, Nancy, for over 30 years. Can you hear me? Yes, 30 years.
Yep.
Together, yes, they live in the San Fernando Valley with their two children. A proud French Canadian from Quebec City, Andre grew up with his three brothers and sister. Andre, welcome.
Good morning. That's a hell of an intro. Thank you. It just struck me that we do very similar work, you and I, in different ways, but kind of
Yes,
helping
right.
people heal their wounds. Because I always say I can't get anybody in a healthy relationship until we clean up the baggage of your childhood, of your past, of the past relationships that confirm you're not good enough, you're not worthy of love, right? Something's wrong with you. The world is a dangerous place. You can't trust people, like all that stuff. We picked that up at 5 years old. And by 7, we're cooked. Like it's the program's
Yeah.
in, the program is installed, and then we spend the rest of our lives proving, see, I'm not good enough. See, relationships there, but say, so if you have a low self-esteem because of your conclusion as a child, you end up attracting people who confirm that, one after the other. And this is
Yeah.
where people get stuck in the loop, right? And they realize midlife, like I can't get out of this. This is like, this isn't working. And well, this is your chance to do the work and heal. Because if you don't, you're going to continue attracting the same, bad man,
Same
bad
pattern.
woman, same pattern,
Mm.
same pattern, same pattern, and your brain will go, see, you can't trust anybody. See, you're not level. See, and you confirm it, and then if you don't fix it, then you're done. You're done, and I think that's a terrible, terrible thing.
Andre, can you tell me what brought you into the field of relationship
Oh.
specifically and dating a coach, which is amazing. What made you decide to do that?
Let's just say, so my beginnings in my family was very strange. So my parents were completely like kind of disconnected, and I realized at 5, that I was born in the wrong family. That was the only explanation. These are not my people. I don't fit in here. I'm not supposed to be here. Like this terrifying at 5 years old. But what happened to me is in that moment, all my awareness went outward, and I started watching the world, watching people, watching life, trying to understand my circumstances. I'm a little kid, right? And so I was a kid in the corner, always watching everybody. And with all that, I became fascinated with the human condition. How does this guy turn out to be cool, and this guy's a dork, and this guy's a brain, and this girl, like people are so like how we all live in the same city, but completely. So I was the observer my whole life. I still do this today. I'll sit in the mall and watch people walk by, and I could sense their energy. I could sense what they're going through. I could feel where they're going. I
And
could
you
feel
was
them, right?
already, yeah, okay, I see.
It's because I've been doing this since I was 5. Well, I think we all
Okay.
have the ability. I just have a lot of practice. So fast forward, when I was a young adult, 23 years old, I started doing personal development classes because I didn't know who I was. I was stuck. I didn't know why I was here. But like I didn't have any of the tools, and I was really lost. So I got some help. So throughout my life, I had like 3 careers. Now this is number 3 career. I call it phase 3 of my life. I used to be a professional dancer. I had a car
Phase
shop in Los
three.
Angeles.
Okay.
Well, first, do you know this? Do you know this? I used to dance with Michael Jackson, Prince, and Paula Abdul, and all these guys back in the day. So
Oh,
I made my
okay.
way from a snowbank to Los Angeles, and I made it the top 1% in show business. And that's my wife was one of my students. So that's how it happens. Excuse me. And when we decided to start a family, I didn't want to be traveling the world. I'd done it for more than 15 years. I didn't want to be the absent father I experienced. So I stopped traveling. I stopped traveling the world. I stopped dancing. Not I've never stopped dancing, but I didn't. I refused to go out of the country, and I opened a car business in Los Angeles to keep me grounded, and it allowed me to raise my kids. It allowed me to buy a house, and get this, in Los Angeles, unheard of, right? My house, my business was 6 minutes from my house, and this kids' school was 2 blocks away. So per design, I'm very proud of this. Per design, I was me and my wife, both of us, were at every recital, every Christmas parade, every whatever was going on in school. We were in the audience, both of us, always. And that was the purpose of that. Phase two of my life was to stay grounded and be solid to raise my kids and create a future. Now, again, all the way through this, personal development, personal development, personal development. I never stop personal development. So the more I know, the more I realize how much I don't know. So my brain is curious. It wants to know everything. Insatiable brain wants to know everything. Like, so if you're a specialist in watermelons, I'll go, oh my God, tell me all about watermelons. What is it that I don't know? Right? Like, it's just my brain. So 18 years ago, this was a switch. This is number three phase of my life that just happened. But I see there was no accident. I get invited to a workshop where I'm invited for free because in the world of workshops or personal development in Los Angeles, it's a small community. You didn't even know there's thousands of us. You keep running into the
You
same
was already
people.
in Los Angeles at that time.
Yes,
Then you
yes,
are
yes,
living
yes,
there since the beginning
yes.
of your life almost, let's say
Absolutely,
this way.
absolutely. So I get invited to a workshop. You want to come to a workshop next weekend? It's on me. I'm like, of course, absolutely, because I know the people. I know her, and she's inviting me for free. These workshops can be very expensive, depending on right. So I go, yes, of course. And then I agree before I even knew what it was. And then I say, what's the workshop? She goes, oh, it's called Understanding Women. Really? Right? Like,
Yeah,
really? Right?
being a man in the middle of all of these.
But what it was for me, it's interesting because of my temperament and I'm artistic and I'm easygoing. I've always attracted. That's what I thought. Anyway, that I know that's not what it was, but at the time, that was my explanation. That I always attracted sweet, sweet, sweet women. I didn't do the stuff my friends did, the screaming, I attracted sweet women. I was always smooth. When you meet my wife, you go, oh my goodness, so lovely. Right? That's what I've always done. So I thought it was me, but I couldn't tell you why or how, right? But I thought, I got this. Understanding women. I'm gonna spend a weekend in a workshop. I got this, right? Like, what are you gonna teach me? Like, it's be nice and be sweet and don't yell, right? Like, I thought it was gonna be cute. So I walked in there on a Saturday morning. Saturday morning, 400 people in the room. Oh,
Oh, wow.
oh, and
Yeah,
then energetically, I'm
quite a
like,
big
oh,
number.
not. This is not going to be cute. Something is going on here. I took it very seriously when I walked in. I realized something was happening, and sure enough, excuse me. At the other workshop, my brain was all over the walls. My brain exploded. I mean, this guy who thought he knew women, I realized I knew nothing. Like, listen to me, people, man, listen to me. Nothing about women, because the way you operate, the way you process energy, your feelings, your thoughts, like we know we're different, but like you have no idea. That was insane. So I was actually quite upset when I left because understanding I know nothing about women, which also meant I know nothing about my wife. Hello, Houston, we have a problem. Because you have to understand, I have four siblings, like you said earlier, right? And all of them are divorced 2 and 3 times. I have my
You
family.
are
I
the
have my
only one on
I'm
the
the only one that's
five
solid, right?
children.
Yep, the
Okay,
only
yeah.
one. At the time, like I said, I have two little kids. We have a toddler and a 4-year-old, right? Everything's fine. We're not looking for this stuff. Like, we're good. But now that I know that I don't know anything about her, so I don't know what she's assuming from my action or lack of action. Like, I understood the tricks, the operating system is so different. She takes things personally that I don't mean. And she disrespects me sometimes without knowing. Like, that whole, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I went crazy. I just thought I didn't want to be a statistic because I didn't know. That's my brain just does not. But that was the launch of this work. So what I did is after that workshop, the company had like 10 or 11 workshops. I took all their workshops, and then so I started assisting their workshop because the more I heard it, the more I needed to hear it
Yeah,
again. And
it became a passion for
it
you
became a
somehow.
passion, because even the same workshop, after I paid for it, when you go back, you could assist for free, be in the space, and even the same workshop with the different teachers and different questions, like, oh. So the more I learned, the
You
more there
was
was more
learning
to
more
learn.
every time.
So, so that never stopped. Again, I was doing this for us. It was for me and her. And 3 years later,
Yeah, for your couple mainly. Yeah.
yeah, and 3 years later, like I'm the guy that everybody talks to. That's another thing about me. I don't know how that works, but people like open up to me. Complete strangers will open up to me. So at the time, I had both businesses, and in my office, I had a car business, and people would drop their cars and break into tears, or like
And
open
speak
like
about their relationship.
completely. It was wild. So I mean, it was so common that the employees knew if the door, my office door is closed, don't come in. Someone's crying.
They were
I would close the
coming
door
to,
just for
okay,
privacy,
wow.
right? Like I just close the door for privacy, but it happened
Yeah.
all the time. So that expanded, and all of a sudden I'm teaching my friends and my family,
Okay.
and my dad died in the middle of all this, and I was in the middle of training all this, and I was just going like a banshee, just learning. And my sister, she's in Montreal, and she was struggling with her husband at the time. And in the car, it's a 2.5 hour drive. We're talking about stuff that she doesn't understand about a man, and and this is why he reacts that way. And she says to me, "Oh my God, you're amazing at this. You should teach this." Ta-da! That's how it started.
That was the
Big moment,
epiphany, let's say
yeah,
this way.
absolutely. Like,
Yeah,
I could
yeah,
teach
yeah.
this, and then I'm a teacher at heart, so there was no big stretch, and
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing since.
Wow. I
Long
have a
story.
burning question now for you.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone will ask you what is the secret of a successful long-term relationship, etc. I'm sure this question everyone is asking you,
Yeah.
and I would like to ask you that type of question, but not now. Maybe at the end.
Okay.
I have a more burning
Bring it.
question, and I'm sure many
Burn.
women, especially in my client, I have a lot who are in this situation.
Yes.
I would like to ask you, what is the main cause why men are ghosting, and why do men and women cheat? Why people are cheating? What
Wow.
usually push them to that point, and what would push someone to ghost you, especially men?
Yes.
I'm not doing the same work as you, but as you know, I'm a therapist and I do coaching also. I have many women who are complaining about this. It's
Okay.
like a new fashion style. I don't know, especially for ghosting, or people telling you, I'm not ready for this, I'm not ready for that, or simply cheating. And women are doing the same now.
Absolutely. No.
What is the root cause? What is the void? What is missing?
The disconnection. We're disconnected from what works completely. So let me answer the question. There's two questions
Your
here.
cat is confirming the behind. I heard
Yeah, I know,
meow.
right?
When you
Wow.
said we are disconnected,
The cat's like, right. But
yeah,
now,
it's confirming.
why men ghost is because instinctively, again, I'm not making excuses, I'm explaining to you the mechanism, right? So men, natural males, masculine men provide, protect, cherish, give support. Women, children, and everybody that needs help, right? Men are protectors, they're providers. That's our
Yeah.
instinct. Now, the boys, because there's different kinds of men, the boys, in my world, there's 4 types. The boys don't really do that. They don't care about anybody. They don't want to take care of anybody, right? So I'm talking men, like real men naturally provide, protect women, children, everything, right? So our instinct is to protect you ladies, right? Our instinct is to not hurt you, right? We're supposed to be there for you. So if I go on a date, because now we live in an era where everybody's on their phone, stupid, but on your phone, in texting conversation, stupid. That's called loser communication. Is one of my big line of my work is communications, and what doesn't work is be on your phone, even on the phone,
Yeah.
whatever. So people text.
But many people don't know that. They are not educated, and they don't even realize that dating on the phone or meeting people through the phone
Ridiculous.
is already breaking the communication.
Absolutely.
And many of my women clients are coming here to heal themselves, to find a better partner.
Yep.
But most of them, they pass by an experience like this because they were not able to recognize the difference between a boy
Yep.
and a real man, a mature one.
Absolutely. And then what happens too is, again, you don't, if you're going to text somebody, the tone is implied. So you're going to make up what they're saying depending on what you think they're feeling or what you're feeling. You know what I mean? So you'll hear attitude when there's no attitude. You'll hear, he really cares for me when he's just talking. So I always say, don't text. You get yourself in trouble. You're going to assume everything, and you know nothing. You're just assuming it, right? Get a voicemail. Leave a voicemail so they could hear your voice, they could hear the tone of your voice, they could hear the intonation. That's communication better.
That's different.
And
right?
And then one step up from there is just get on the phone, just get on a call and have a conversation, right? But texting, anyway. So get this. So if I go on a date with a woman, let's say I was dating, right? This is men. When men date women, they're investigating. They're looking for, are we a match? Do you want the same thing I want? Right? Like it's an investigation into possible future, right? Whether he wants to play with you or build with you, that's what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
And so if I don't like you on a date, right? What am I going to do? Am I going to call you and go, it's good to meet you, but I don't like you, so I'm not going to call you anymore and have a good life, right? That would be like throwing a brick in your face. That would it's not protecting you, right? It's actually hurting you on purpose. Men cannot hurt you on purpose. Our instinct is to protect. So what they do what everybody else does. They disappear. They think it's crappy. It's not gentlemanly.
Yeah.
Right? It's not gentlemanly, but it's not as bad as saying I don't like you. That's it. So that's how men do it. It's against our instinct to hurt you on purpose. We cannot use our voice to hurt you. The real man. Yeah. The boys will hurt you left and right because they don't care, because they're narcissists. So that's question number one. Question number two was, why do people cheat? So I could
what is the root cause?
I could roll up a carpet of reasons why people cheat. There's no simple answer to this.
We have a long list, I think.
Well, are you familiar with Esther Perel? She's a French therapist in New York City with over 30 years. She talks like you, same accent. She's from Belgium, just like you.
Okay.
Right? But she's been around. She's been a therapist, and she's all about intimacy, why people stick together, why people cheat. That's her body of her work, right?
Mm-hmm. That's her specialties.
That's her specialty, right? She's one of my trainers, by the way. I stand on the shoulders of 5 masters. She's one of them because that's such a specialty, right? Every one of them is specialized in a different angle. That's why I could talk about all of it. But her thing is, there's no simple answer to this, right? Men who are happily married and they love their wives, right, will often just have a snack on the side. That's it makes them feel alive. Yeah. It's a reality. It makes them feel alive, makes them feel young again, right? There's a ho-hum when you've been with somebody for many, many years. Often the ladies lose attraction to their husband, so they don't sleep with him anymore. And he's a man full of testosterone. And, I had a lady say to me one time, and this is just one reason, one angle, one thing that happened. She's like, he needs to get over it. I have 2 little kids. I have little hands on me all day long. He needs to get over it. We're grown-ups, and we have children. He needs to get over it. I'm like, are you out of your mind, lady? What is wrong? Like, are you out of your mind? Like, because now she's breaking her vow, right? She's breaking her vow in that. Like, what I mean by that is, it's like, men will commit, provide, protect, cherish, give, support, lead in relationships, right? That's our jobs, right? Take care of a woman, and in exchange, she takes care of me the other way. And one of the ways that we in the marriage license, the agreement, is I'll provide, protect for you. I'll pay for everything. I'll manage this whole thing, right? Make sure that the nest is clean and there's some food when I come home and the children are taken care of. So, and also I have access to you, right? So the deal is I pay for everything and I lay down my penis with every other woman, but you got to provide that for me on a regular basis. That's the contract. So when that falls off, which is always at one point falls off, men are like, okay, right? It's like the example that I give is like, if it's like not feeding your husband food ever. If you refuse to feed him, and you don't expect him not to stop and get a snack on the way home, he's going to get a snack on the way home. So that's one of the reasons for men. For the ladies, it's boredom, boredom more than men. Women get bored faster than men. Interesting. People don't really think that. But women get bored sexually with, and when they start feeling neglected, or if they mother the man, right, like it puts distance between them. So when a man cheats, he's a pig, according to the ladies. But when she cheats, it's because she felt neglected and not fulfilled and unhappy. So this is like, I could go on and on and on. There's a million reasons, but for the ladies, I'm not happy and he's not good enough for me, or he's not taking care of me. For the man is, I need to get a little snack on the side,
Yeah, I see it.
Do you see it?
Yeah. Well, personally, I see it. I mean, I don't know if all the audience can see it. I'm sure
again,
they would have more
other,
questions under that.
and there's a bunch of other versions of that. Do you know what I mean? But if you kind of round
Quite
it
a
up a
big
little bit,
chapter, right?
yeah, no, you have to. I could roll a carpet of reasons,
Yeah.
and
Would be
how
a
it's
book.
happened. Yeah, no, seriously.
We can do a full podcast about why men
Absolutely.
are cheating, why women are cheating.
Absolutely.
We can do it in the future.
And the funny thing,
A
by the
full
way, we
one.
never talk about this, but we always, all we hear is men are cheaters, right? And we never hear about women cheating, or we think it's rare. The numbers are exactly the same.
No,
The
that's
numbers
not
are
rare. I
exactly
hear a
the
lot.
same.
Oh,
So, let's get over ourselves with the idea that men are the dangerous and cheating ones, because women cheat just as much. So I don't want that conversation. Like, I don't have this conversation with people anymore. Why do men cheat? Really? Why do women cheat? Right? And they don't want to talk about that. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So let's get real.
Yeah.
Everybody cheats. Okay.
Yeah.
Different
Unfortunately, maybe not before. The time of my grandmother, let's say this way, was different. But time changed. And I know, because I'm working with many people, and I hear many different stories. I can confirm. We don't speak about this. We speak, like you said, you're right, much more about men, like men are cheater, etc. But yes, I heard many stories where men have been cheated on and be destroyed because of that. And women who were telling me clearly, I cheated on him because of 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
It's very common now.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. So if I want to take in a little deeper, just if you want, right?
Maybe not today. I would love seriously to do a podcast on that, because I'm sure
love it.
More questions will come. Today, I would love to go on big subject that I'm sure everyone is asking you already, but I would like to develop for my audience, especially, and mainly divorce. Let's talk about that, because today 2 out of 3 married couples end up divorced. What's going on? What's going on?
Okay, so again,
it's like the new fashion style too, unfortunately.
And
it's like you get married, okay, save money for the divorce.
Yeah. Well, okay, so statistic. I'm the king of statistic. I have a file just for statistic. You know what I mean? Again, because it's not my opinion, right? It's the work, it's the research, it's the interviews. So, do you realize one of the difference between men and women is men typically will sacrifice their happiness for their families. Men be miserable, but stays because the kids, stays because he's the provider, stays. So men don't typically leave unless they figure out that no matter what he does, he can't make her happy. And to a man, that's torturous. So at one point he'll say, "This is how men leave." Are you ready? They all say the same thing. Obviously I can't make you happy. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I can't be perfect. I'm not your Mr. Right. So I'm going to release you back to the universe to find yourself Mr. Perfect, because it's not me. And for him, that's liberation. He's just like torture, right? If you can't make your wife happy, it destroys how can you how do you get up in the morning if you can't do anything right? Do you know what I mean? So that's what demoralizes men. Now the ladies, are you ready? Statistics, are you ready? 80% of divorce are initiated by women. Women ask for divorce. 90% if they're highly educated.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a very high number.
So women leave. Men don't leave. Men don't leave until they realize they can't make her happy, right? Women leave first. I'm bored. I'm tired. I don't like this. I don't. We grew apart, right? And I'm just saying, like this is the stuff that I hear all the time. You know what I mean? So a man. I'm just gonna say it again. It's not sexy. It's just kind of this. Men will sacrifice their happiness for their family. Women will sacrifice their family often for their happiness.
Oh,
Ta-da!
that's a big
Ta-da!
word.
And there it is. You know,
Okay.
and if ask every woman who's been divorced, who's asking for a divorce, right? Who initiated?
Yeah, but they will not say this way. They
Of
would
course not.
not
Of course
be
not.
honest with themselves.
Of course
This is
not.
the reality.
No, it's true.
What you say, I like it because it's very bold, let's say it this way.
It just is.
It's true, I know, but many, many women will not even admit that.
No.
It's not
no.
that they don't want. I think it's because they have a fear also behind to realize, who am I? And
I mean-
then the guilt start to build up and everything. Then
But
to
I mean-
avoid everything, okay, I'm leaving, done.
You know, sacrifice the family for their happiness. I had a woman I talked to like 2 weeks ago, right? And she's like kind of poking around at this whole thing. So she's on your side of the world, right? So the religion's the same, right? There's standards, there's rules, you don't leave, da 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 da, right? But you know, now they're living in America, so she got herself a coach because she's struggling with the communication with her husband. And the coach is a woman who says, "Oh, honey, if you're not happy, just leave him, dump him. If you're not happy, dump him. If you're not happy, right?" The worst advice, first of all, because now she's convinced. Are you ready? She has a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old, right, in a home. And she says the first thing she said to me, by the way, just you have to make. I want to make sure that you know my husband's a great man. He provides for us. He pays for everything, right? He will do anything for me. He loves me. I'm like, what's the problem, right? I deserve better.
Ah.
What does that
Like.
mean? I deserve
Well,
better.
I wanted to ask
Right.
this question.
And
What
so
does
that's
it
what I
mean?
said. What does that mean? She goes, well, he needs to be more romantic, and he just wants to have sex with me, but without anything in front. I'm like, so wait, so you now you're complaining that your husband wants to have sex with you? You know how many women complain their husband doesn't want to have sex with them? Do you know what I mean? Like, so this guy is actually wired right. Like, what do you? I deserve better. What? She wants more romance. She wants more attention. She wants more conversation. Okay. That could be fixed, right? That's my work. But
Yeah, what about the communication into that?
to divorce him, to drop the kids on their butts, right? And actually, everyone's going to turn against her because they're all the family, his family and her family. They're all, have the same belief system. Like she's going to get annihilated and pushed out completely. And I'm going to say this: most women, 5 years or so after divorcing, realize they made a terrible mistake. Because now they're living alone with a cat in a one-bedroom apartment, right, where somebody else moved to her house because he kept the house. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
one of my wife's aunt lives exactly this. All of her girlfriends are like, "Oh, if you're not happy, just dump them," right? And she's like, yeah. So, and now she lives in an apartment with a cat, and there's a younger woman living in her house. And she's like, I don't know what's wrong with me. This is a good man. He was providing. He wasn't like warm and fuzzy. He didn't talk so much. Hello, that's a man. And there's ways to bring that out of him. And this is the stuff people don't know how to do. But in the end, she realized there was nothing wrong with that guy. He was just a man doing what men do and providing, protecting. But her girlfriend's like, if you're not happy, I'm just saying. So
That's the moment to realize also that they have something wrong with yourself.
I mean, that's what people
And
don't
that's
look
what
at.
many people don't want to look
Ta-da!
at.
Ta-da!
They will blame the other party, which is, if it's the wife talking, she will blame the husband. If it's the
Yep.
husband talking, he will blame the wife.
Yep, isn't that
And
great?
nobody understands that they need healing to evolve.
Right. It starts with you first, right? If you don't do your
Yeah.
work, you're just going to project all your crap on the other person and make them wrong for it, and it's over. And people do it over
stop to
and
blame.
over and
Yeah.
over and over. Like a different person, the same story. Another person, same story. You know what I mean? So this is a sign that you're not getting it. This is a sign that it starts with you, right? The common denominator is you. So if it's not the world, it's you in the world, and what you create, what you attract, what you believe, and what you confirm. And if you believe that, if you weren't loved right as a child, you're going to go prove to the world that you're unlovable. And it's your life. You know this. This is your work. So it's so
Yeah, 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 for
it's so
sure.
obvious for us on some level, but most people are blind to it.
But
They're
for
just
most of the
yeah,
people, it's
they're
not
blind to it.
obvious, and I think that's why those type of podcasts and conversation are very useful for people who
Absolutely.
are watching, because most of the time, you know, I have an example with my own mother. She was a very unstable person. I'm coming from a dysfunctional family, but my
Yep.
parents divorced, and all my life, either my father or my mother, even when I was 18 and they divorced, I was 5, they were still blaming and accusing
Oh yeah.
each others. Of course, I was not awakened at that time and I didn't realize how deep it was. And I had no explanation for that, but they still have many people who have no clue that they need to do the healing on themselves
Yep.
to save their relationship or simply to be successful in relationship. And I want
Exactly.
to ask you now,
Yes.
what is the secret of a successful long-term relationship like the one you have had with your
Yes.
wife for 30
Well,
years?
I
I'm sure you will inspire many people just by the number itself. Of
you
course,
know
we can imagine it's a roller coaster in every relationship, but to succeed to that point and still
yes.
make it work, do you have a secret? I'm sure
I
many
well,
people want
it's
to
really
ask you that.
yeah. So I call it gender intelligence, and people don't like that term. Like, because when men and women are the same, no, no, no. We're very, very different. We're actually in complete opposition in every way. There's a yin yang to that. That's nature. That's how we get together. My strength different than my wife's strengths. I don't blame her for not doing it my way. She doesn't blame me for not doing her way. Right? I talk less. She talks more. We're okay with that. We still have conversation, but expect me to be like a girl. She doesn't. Now she also has 5 older brothers, so she's very male friendly. I'm a lucky guy. I'm telling you, I'm a lucky, lucky guy. But a typical woman has no brothers or fathers, right? Like end up in this twilight zone of girliness, and they think I have one of my buddies is married to a girl. Get this. They're not gonna make it, right? No daddy, right? 3 sisters, and she was raised with her sisters, her mom, and her aunt. So this girl
No
has
father
never been around
figures,
men.
yeah.
She's never been around men. So she looks at him like he's this big, smelly creature that's hairy and does everything wrong. Seriously, like he does everything wrong. You know what I mean? And then I had an argument with her. This is ridiculous. But I went to their house, right? And because she's used to a house full of women, right? The toilet seat's always down. And she insists that he puts the toilet seat. So now she mothers the hell out of him because he's not doing it right, right? So I go to the house and I come out of the bathroom. She goes, "You put the seat down?" I'm like, "No." My courtesy was to lift it so I wouldn't pee all over it. But you want me to like act like I don't exist? Like you want me to act like I'm not? What is wrong with you? Right? Like this is the stuff they're fighting about, right? So again, when you don't understand the
And
opposite
it's small
side,
things at the end of the day.
it's
It's
all the
not
small
really
things.
big
It's
stuff.
always right.
Yeah,
It's the small things that bring us apart, and then
yeah.
people have affairs. So
Pick
I
a
sit.
maid and end of story.
Yeah, and this is what I call gender intelligence. So if you're a woman and want to be in a relationship, a healthy relationship with a man, I say cross the bridge into man world and go find out. You could research. You get YouTube. You got a lot of information out there. Come to me. Come to you. Why men do what they do? What motivates them? Why do they talk less? Right? How do you make them talk more? Like, understand the beast that you're dealing with, right? And get this: when I explain women, I have the owner's manual. I have for men the owner's manual for the ladies. For the ladies, the owner's manual for men. Like this is my 18 years of this work, plus the masters, right? That I teach, that I train under. But when a woman understands a man's motivation, his operating system, why we do what we do, right? About 50%, get this, about 50% of everything you take personally with us disappears.
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
different life. But that's what intelligent people do. They go and learn and then decode man and understand the hero in us, understand why we speak less, understand why we act differently, understand we are stuck in our heads all the time, which is we need your femininity to bring us out, right? Out of our heads into our hearts where you like us the most. It's all that's the dance. But you can't make him act like your girlfriend. He's never gonna. He's never gonna talk like your girlfriend. He's never gonna be aware like your girlfriend. He's not gonna, sense how you feelings like your girlfriend. Like and but women make men wrong for not being like a girl. Welcome to our culture in 50-50, and we're equals. We're not equals. We're completely opposite, but that's the magnet. Anyway, and same with the men. You know, a man who come to me is like, I had one guy who came to me. He's like, God, I need your help. What's up? He goes, my lovely, lovely wife of 10 years. She's so sweet. She was so loving. She was so kind, right? He goes, now I come home. She looks at me. She goes, oh, it's you. Rolls her eyes and goes in the kitchen. He goes, she hates me, man. He goes, I don't understand. I go to work. I pay for everything. I don't cheat, right? I'm a good guy. I come home every night. I help with the children as much as I can. I go, yeah, because you don't know nothing about women like I didn't, right? I go, she promise you she feels taken for granted. Promise you you don't talk to her enough, so she feels disconnected, which scares the life out of her, so she doesn't feel safe in the fact that you're not connecting enough with her. You probably don't appreciate all the small stuff that she does, 5,000 of them a day, right? You just take it for
This is
granted. You
why
come home,
she's going in the
da, da,
kitchen
da, 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 da,
directly.
da, right? So basically, she's
Yeah.
so disconnected, you don't understand what she needs. And again, a woman, her needs are different than yours, right? I said, so go learn, right? I said, let me teach you what she needs instinctively to feel connected, to feel safe, to feel happy, to feel heard and seen. And all of a sudden, you bring out the best out of her, right? That's the magic. So I call it gender intelligence, right? Cross the bridge on the other side, learn some stuff, and then you could actually walk back on the bridge, meet in the middle, and be able to learn to start dancing together, right? That's the dance. And in the beginning, it's a little weird, and we step on each other's toes. Well, but the more you practice, the more you can dance. Like so, my background is dancing. This is my wife and I ballroom dancing. The metaphors for dancing and relationships are fantastic. There's no equality in that. There's a yin yang. There's complementary. My strength, her strengths come together. Poof, beautiful dance.
Yeah, it's polarities, and
And
then
yes, and by the way, culture, women want to have the control. Women want to lead, right? Well, that won't work, and it works for business and money, but not for relationships. So, in the dance with my wife, get this. Watch the metaphors. It's so beautiful. I lead the dance, right? But I have to lead with sensitivities because actually I could overlead her. I could crank her shoulder. I could hurt her. You understand that?
yeah.
Same in relationship. I lead the relationship with sensitivities and awareness of her energy and what she feels and what she needs, right? So it's not a dictatorship, but it's a leadership. Somebody else has to lead, right? And somebody has to support the lead. That's the system, right? So as I lead her with sensitivities, she now feels safe that she's not going to get hurt. She actually wants to dance with me. And in that, she has to let go of control, because if she doesn't let go of control, we're going to fight and collide. This is when you get, I'm telling you, as a dancer, this is how you get the elbow to the nose, or the knee to the groin. You can't try to help me, right? Now there's two leaders who collide. So
Yeah.
she gets to be vulnerable and open to my leadership because she feels safe, and allows me to take her on a beautiful little journey on the dance floor. That's relationships. But again, it's not two pilots. It's not two presidents. It's not two kings. Nothing in the world is this way. There's always right? So, by the way, my wife, in her role as my partner in life and in the dance, she's not passive. She's not weak. She has to hold her frame, right? And she's doing everything I'm doing backwards in high heels in a dress. It's not easier. It's different. And there's a complementary that is the magic. Yeah. So women want to be strong, independent, and powerful. Well, that's masculine. And masculine men are looking for beautiful, soft, warm, radiant women, which is feminine. So we're in the culture of, go girl, boss baby, you can't trust men. But they still want men to be traditional. But women are raised to not be traditional.
They don't allow.
They don't. They're
what
raised.
you described in the dance, it's accepting to be led and allow to be led in the right way.
Yes, and it's
Just
how the feminine
allow
flows.
it. And most of the time we don't allow because we are much more in competition, into a fight already. Like women have been, unfortunately, I would say, trained into business because they had to fight a lot to arrive where they are today. I'm speaking about women in business.
Yep.
And they have a confusion between the business and the relationship that become a business sometimes, where they cannot do not be the boss anymore, do not be the leader anymore, and allow the man to take them and follow the flow. Go with the flow.
No, and again, like I said, when I take the lead with my wife dancing, right? Again, because she knows she's safe. She knows I'm not going to hurt her. She knows I'm not going to
Yeah.
spin through a wall, right? We've done this enough, kind of thing. In that, she could be vulnerable and let go. And what happens, right? She falls into her feminine. She radiates. She smiles. She glows. No one's looking at me. They're all looking at her, right? And you see that's the case. So she, for her to let go of control, actually allows her to land in her body and her femininity and to be completely brilliantly glowing, radiant, right? Joyful, giggle. She giggles. She giggles like a little girl. Because I still surprise her because she lets me lead her, and I'll take her
Yeah.
this way instead of that way. Ooh, right? It's so much fun. But if she's trying to control that, I get punched in the face with her elbow or the knee to my So there's no countries where you have two kings. There's no companies who have two presidents. There's no airplane who has two pilots. If they both go for the wheel, the plane crashes. This is what people don't understand. So it's not, you should be strong, independent, and powerful, ladies, all you want. It's beautiful. But if you do this with a man, if you want a traditional man, for him to be man, you can't be his captain, right? You
Yes,
want to be his
sure.
first mate. He's the captain, right? And again, you get to be on the deck and chilling, having a Mai Tai while he's taking you wherever he wants to take you. Like, seriously, it's not that complicated.
Yeah.
Nature is very simple, but we decided we're better than that. Okay, well, that's what people are struggling.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
world that we live in.
Regarding that, I'm sure many will have the question how to trust again and everything, and mainly here would be for the people who are divorced or single. What advice would you give to my audience, especially those who are single or divorced and who have been through difficult situation? Yes, we will speak about healing. Clearly, we know that you need to heal yourself to
Yes.
trust again. But
Yes.
what main advice, what is the biggest advice you would give to my audience, especially for the single or the divorced one?
I mean, they're both a different result of a different kinds of injuries, period, right? If so, we know, and you know this, that if a little girl, it starts in childhood, and if a little girl, if there was no daddy energy over the household, right? Like when fathers are missing or they're weak or addicted to anything, when a little girl doesn't feel safe in the world, right? She has to man up. So what happened is
Yeah.
daddy doesn't make anyone feel safe. The household is not feeling safe. So mom become mama bear. She's providing, protecting. Now she's in her masculine, which doesn't allow her to be nurturing to the children the right way. The boys don't have a role model, so they become feminine men. The women, the role model is mom, who's mama bear, masculine, provide, protect, right? The little girl doesn't feel safe in the world with either no daddy, bad daddy, or mama bear. So she, at the age of 5, she mans up, and because she has to protect herself to survive. And that's how women aren't allowed per their history. It's nobody's fault, and you know this, but it's they can't grow into their feminine because there's no space for that. There's survivals in place, provide, protect for herself. So on the other side of this, as young people trying to get in a relationship, right? They're looking for the daddy that they never had. They find a daddy that's a guy who's absent. You know this. And then they prove.
Yeah.
So we find somebody like our parent that was missing. For the man as a mother, for the daughter as a father. We find somebody just like him, in temperament, and try to fix them. And this is why people get divorced. This is why people collide. So again, it goes right back to what we just said. It goes back to you. So what story do you have in your head? What is your past, and how is it producing your future constantly? And the longer you go, by the way, the worse it gets. The worse it gets, because now you have more proof that you're not
More to
lovable.
heal.
More proof that
Also.
men
Yeah.
aren't trustworthy. More proof that women are crazy. More proof that, and there you go, right? So it's always that. It's always that. So it's going back to the basis, cleaning up the nervous system, letting all that go, so you could think for yourself. You could actually think clearly, as opposed to attract what you attract what you believe is what it is. We don't make choices. We repeat what we know. This is a terrible thing about the human
We
brain.
attract in general what we are most of the
And
time.
what we know where we come
Yeah.
from, right? If you don't feel lovable, you'll
Yeah.
find people at work and in life and relationships who's going to make you feel not lovable, that you don't matter. and you think that's you. Like, see? So again, you have to start doing your own work. You've been divorced, separated, you're single. Something is disconnected. Do you know what I mean? In our culture, we raise every little girl to be strong, independent, and powerful. They don't know how to be feminine. They don't know how to be women. They don't know how to be wives. They don't want to be mothers. And the men who want, this men is still very much traditional. Our roles never change. We're supposed to provide, protect, cherish, give, support, lead, pay. That's, men who are successful, that's what they want. They want families and children and a legacy. Do you know what I mean? But women in our culture are raised to not be traditional, to refuse to be traditional even, but they want men
Mhm.
to still provide, protect, cherish. Hello? Well, that's the problem. So if you're single, because you want the guy that everybody else wants, but you're disconnected from your
The
own
prince, the
feminine.
prince, the
Yeah,
prince that the little girl
yeah.
believed in.
Well,
The
but the
prince.
prince needs a princess, not a boss babe. So that's the part that is a disconnect, right? If you want the guy that everybody
Yeah,
wants, what he
be
wants
a
is
princess.
feminine loveliness, warmth, right? Radiance of the femininity. We need that to actually be normal, and you need us to feel safe. So it's not the same, and it's a simple. Just look at nature. Everything in nature is polarized, and that's the only way that works.
Yes. Yeah.
Ah,
Hmm.
so there.
Yeah, polarities.
Nothing in the world it works without
Yeah.
it. Nothing.
Mhm. Yeah. And I'm sure many want to change, but they don't know where to start. Let's take an example of one person who is divorced or single, man or woman.
Hmm.
Um, they will ask you where to start. I don't know where to start. Okay, I need to do healing on myself, but
Yep.
what to do, where to start? Then tell me, what does a typical session with you, for example, looks
Yep.
like?
We start with trauma release. First thing. I can't get anybody in a healthy relationship to release the belief, the false belief that you made about yourself. You concluded because your family life was jacked, right? If you weren't loved right, you're going to continue proving that you're not lovable, right? Or there's something wrong with you. You're not good enough for the man. For the ladies, it's I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy of love. For the man, it's typically I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough, right? So, and everything else in between. So if you have the courage to step into the work, because it takes courage and time and money
Yeah,
to
that's not
fix
something
your
easy.
life,
Yeah.
right? You have to step in. So if you step in with me, we go right for trauma release. First phase of the program, trauma release, so you can actually not stop being led by the trauma that's been driving you since you were 5 years old. So then it rattles people a little bit. It's sort of like, okay, and then for a little bit there's well, if I'm not this, then who am I? Well, let's find out. Who do you want to be, right? And then lining up with, the strengths that you have, the gift that you were born with, right? To step into those gifts and kind of like reframe your life or frame it in a way that's satisfying and moving forward. And now you're worthy, and now you're capable, and that. And in that, and from that place, as you get into your essence, masculinity for men, your femininity as a woman, we both have both, but they have to be in good balance, right? Masculine women, nobody wants. Feminine men, nobody wants. So, we have to be able to go back and forth. Yeah, you could be a boss at work, but you have to be a woman in the world if you want to attract masculine men. Again, right? So to line up with your essence as a man, as a woman, that's more standard, right? And then attract the opposite. And then the rest of the work for me is like, how do you date man? Because ladies don't know how to date man. You have no idea what men are looking for, and men they can't really describe it. You're a yes or you're a no from the beginning. Yes or no. Yes or no. Instantly. There's no gray area for man. There's no. It's a yes or a no. She's good or she's not. She's lovely, but that's a no. She was cool, but that's a no, right? Like there's something about she was interrogating me at dinner. I'm trying to find out who she is, and she won't stop asking me questions. That's a no, right? So you ladies don't know how men
Mhm.
date, what they're looking for on dates, really how to show up in a way that he wants more, right? So we do that work, and then what's the timing? When do you cross? Big problem in our culture is people date 3 or 4 times and they start intimacy because I like you, you like me, so let's have some fun and start intimacy. We think intimacy starts a relationship. For most men, it kills it. For most men, it kills it. If it's too quick, again, there's a variable on that, but there's a lot of data on this,
Many
right?
don't know that.
No one knows
I'm
that. That's
happy
the
that you
biggest
say
problem.
it.
That's the biggest
I
problem.
know it,
Nobody
but I
knows
mean,
it. It's a
many
terrible
don't
thing.
know that.
Right? No, they
Yeah,
think, for most women, they think intimacy starts a relationship. For most men, you're signaling that you're not virtuous enough, that he didn't have to get to do anything for him to win your body.
because they
Now
like
he's
to
gonna play
chase.
with. Well, no, it's not
Yeah.
even the chase. It's you're not. I can't trust you. Really, like who else has been there? How many? And all the instinct in men who want virtuous women to build with, right? So the guy who thought you were good potential, you do that too quickly, you become the thing he wants to play with, as opposed to the woman he wants to build with. It's such a delicate thing, and again, men can't explain it. You're a yes or you're a no. So when he tries to
Yeah.
seduce you and you fold, he'll play with you for a couple of months, maybe a couple of years, while he's looking for the woman he wants to marry. And then you're devastated because you thought. So crossing line to sexuality is a huge part of my work, and nobody gets it until they get it and watch men respond appropriately. And then in the end, the communication style, right? Men and women communicate completely differently. People don't understand that, right? What I say to a woman is just not what she's hearing, and when she says to me what I'm hearing, it's not what she's saying, and we're like, huh? We speak English. What's the problem? Because we have different filters.
Yeah, it's like they
That's
have a
it.
Chinese translator between.
I'm serious. But now people think I'm speak English. You hear the words, right? We're communicating. No, we're not communicating. What I'm hearing is,
The meaning
so
is not the same.
that's
Yeah.
a huge part of it. Like if you're going to be in a long-term relationship, you have to learn to communicate in ways that you're communicating, as opposed to miscommunicating and thinking the other one's a jerk, because that's what people do. So there's layers here, right? But trauma,
Hmm.
landing back in your body, understanding your essence, stepping into the relationship. If you're a man, what do women need instinctively, naturally, to bring out the best in her? As a woman, what is in a man's instinct is striving to that you could line up and bring out the best in him, and all of a sudden you get everything you want. But you have to learn,
Hmm.
because in our culture, our grandparents were very clear who they were, and for millennia, the men were men, women were women. They came together and made. Now, it was simpler. There was no choices. I get that, and that's how we wanted choices. But now we have too many choices, and everyone's confused. So again, if you go back to what works, it's a little traditional with a modern twist, right? I'm not talking about going back to the 50s. That's ridiculous. That's not it. But it's what works naturally, right? Polarity, yin yang, masculine and feminine, right? Magnets. If you don't have magnets, if you neutralize men and women, it will fall apart. It's unsatisfying. It's flat. You don't know why you're together. But this often is uncomfortable because he's so
Hmm.
different than you are, and you're so different than he is. We frustrate each other and trying to correct the other one. No, we embrace our differences. We learn to communicate them and adjust and negotiate them. Ta-da! It's not that hard. You just have to learn how. But
And I'm pretty sure for those of one who had been married before didn't succeed, of course, because they are divorced, will ask you, how many sessions do I need? Like they ask me all the time.
well,
And like I answered all the time, listen, you want a six pack, you go to the gym, it's more than 6 months.
yeah,
They cannot tell you how many
yep,
personal trainer session you will need to do a six pack
yep,
because
and
you have homework to do behind. And I
and
think
yeah,
that's where the homework is the most difficult for the person who is coming to see you, because
yeah,
you will guide the person, you will coach the person, you will help the person to heal from trauma, clear the belief system that make them stuck in that
hmm
situation where they have repetitive pattern, finding the same woman or same man, and they are not happy in their relationship. But now they have homework, and I would like that you explain that, because many things like, okay, I'm paying you, I'm coming, taking 6 sessions, finished, done. No, no, that's not how it
So
works.
I mean, for me in my world, if you're going to step in, it's 6 months at a time. And the
Mhm.
first 6 months is the trauma release, and it has to settle, right, slowly, and then learn about getting back into essence as a woman. If you want to be attracting masculine men, you have to step back into your femininity. And with that, I train women. Like, it's funny. I had a client says, "I can't believe it took a man to teach me how to be feminine." Like, well, who better? Because
Why
I
not?
understand these things. I know what it
Yeah.
feels like to receive these
Yeah.
things. We know, like, your femininity is your superpower. It will bring us down to our knees, right? It's not weak. It's not powerless, right? It's not needy. Your femininity is like brings us out of our heads, brings us present, brings us right in front of you, and we delight in it. It inspires us. It lights us up like sunshine on my face. I can never describe it. It's incredible, the power of your femininity, but you were trained that's not important. That you have to, fight with. So getting back into your body as a woman after trauma release, and really kind of ease into your body, get into your heart, out of your head, that's masculine, into your body, that's feminine. And from that place of radiance, of calmness, of stop pushing, right? And try to practice more being as opposed to pushing. And all of a sudden, like my wife on the dance floor, she starts radiating and nobody's
Yeah.
looking at
And you
me,
fly.
right? And so this beauty, this nature in that, by the way. So I get into your bodies, and the rest of it is. So it takes it. The first 6 months typically is that. It's cleaning all that up and understanding how to realign with your essence as a woman, as a man, because I do the same thing with men. And then from there, typically, this is actually kind of fun. Within 5 months of the program, oh, somebody shows up. Oh, and all of a sudden they're like, wait, and my ladies will say stuff like, I just met a man. I've never met one before, right? Because they attract boys. They attract
Yeah.
boys because of their trauma, and all of a sudden the trauma
Oh,
is
yeah.
released. They
Hmm.
actually have, and they know what to look for because men are very specific. Like I said, in my world, there's 4 types of men. There's also 4 types of women. The one at the bottoms you have to avoid at all costs. The other ones are healthy. So when you start attracting the the man and the gentleman, it's a different life because the men want to be provide, protect, cherish. Like everything you want is instinctively like right there. Like you don't have to manipulate men to do this, but they also have to be in your feminine for them to be magnetized towards you. So typically by 5 months, this all of a sudden is a dude or a girl, right? And then, well, how do I do this? Because I don't know how to do this. So we continue, right? And how do you
Yeah.
learn the communications, learn the dance, really learn all the difference between men and women, like
It's like a
the
master.
I know,
It's
but
like doing a master again.
and I mean, but it's so satisfying. I have
Not
like
the PhD, but
no,
not
no, I
far
get
from
it,
that, I
I get
think.
it, I get it. But I mean, like, I don't know if you know this, but also officiate weddings. So some of my clients, I marry them myself. I just did 2 last summer. I went to Vegas and
Oh,
I
we
went to
forgot to talk about
Texas.
this. You are a
Yeah.
dating coach. Yes, we will
Yes, I
talk
went to
about this.
Texas and Vegas to marry a couple that I worked with. It takes about 2 years to get to the marriage, ish. Do you know what I mean? So there's a whole like doing the work and then all of a sudden attracting the right person and knowing how to make that work. And typically it takes a man a year when he meets the woman that he wants, that he dreamt of, to go on one knee. And this is when I show up. That's absolutely the most beautiful thing in the world. And that's again, if I'm
Mm.
going to show off, this is the
Amazing.
proof that
Yeah.
this stuff works. Like
Yeah.
it's I married them myself, and then they have the
Mhm.
tools to continue negotiating and not fight and understand how to, do all this right. And his strength, her strength. Oh, we embrace, we embrace. Sometimes it's frustrating, and we embrace, right? We work with it, we talk about it. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. But if you follow the culture, soften the men, empower the women to the point where we
Yeah.
flat out the
Hmm.
energy. That's what doesn't work. And people are like,
Yeah.
it
It's
should
like
work. It
establishing
should work. Why
balance.
doesn't it work? And what doesn't it work? That women will say to me like, I'm strong, independent, powerful. I have a job. I make 6 figures. I have my own house, my own car. I have no trouble. How come nobody wants to date me? And I go, because masculine men aren't interested in masculine energy women. The guys that you want don't want that. But you were trained that that's what's power. That's what's attractive to man, and it's not at all what's attractive to man. That's attractive. That's attractive to the ladies about man, right? But men are attracted to that. So again, there's a huge disconnect
Hmm.
into what
Yes.
what is should work better, right? Soften the men, empower the ladies. Where even out the playing field, it should be more fair. It should work better. And in business and money, it works for a while. But in a relationship, it's destruction, it's chaos, it's confusion, it's hurt feelings, it's heartbroken again and again and again. A man is never going to act like a woman, ladies, and a man, she's never going to be acting like you, thinking like you, processing like you. If we're different, but that's the point, that's the magic, is to embrace those differences and learn to work with them, and in that, a very deep, deep, profound bond.
Beautiful.
And again,
Let's say now about the dating coach,
yes.
because we didn't talk about that.
Hmm.
If I understood correctly for the audience, you help them to be ready for a new relationship by helping them to heal. Well, of course, they will have a lot of homework, which I mentioned already. And then you will see if you have someone matching for them, right?
Yeah, no,
Can
there's
you
some of
enter in
that.
detail
Well,
for that?
my clients are all over the world, so sometimes it's a little bit difficult. But I have a community here in Los Angeles, so you can't you can't
Retreat?
match. Yeah,
Dating retreat.
absolutely. That's the next step. I've done some of
See,
that,
I,
but
I, I have a great idea here. Dating
I I
retreat. Let's
I
go.
absolutely, and it's I do an event every month. I do a live event in the ground on the ground in Los Angeles, like face to face, using the dance frame, by the way. And then
Ah,
and then we do another one. So once every other month we do on the ground, and in between we do on Zoom an introduction event, to kind of introduce people to this kind of work and what works and why they're confused and da 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 da. But my favorite thing is to do it live, because I have people come in, mostly
in
singles,
person, yeah, I
right?
get you.
Mostly single. But when I put a man in a woman's arms in the ballroom frame, right? The way it's an instant mirror to how you show up in a relationship. Instantly, in like a few minutes, like everything, how you do relationship is right in your face. Because if you're, excuse me, unable to be vulnerable and let the man help or lead, right? In the dance, you do the same thing in relationships. You don't feel safe. You can't be vulnerable. You can't let him lead. Now you're resisting and you're struggling, and he's struggling because you want to let him lead. And then if the guy's not strong enough of a lead, right? Then she has to take it and kind of want to push him around, and she gets frustrated. He feels that he's unable. He feels weak. All this stuff that doesn't work, right? So that magic of getting into each other's frame and literally seeing your whole life when it comes to a relationship, right? That's a visceral experience, right? It's something that you have to feel to kind of get deep really quickly, right? As opposed to talk about it. And you can't do this on a Zoom thing. It's face to face. So the idea of that plus in a retreat, imagine like 5 days of this. Oh, hello, right?
Yeah,
So, but again, it
yeah.
takes the
Holy
courage.
cow.
It
In a
takes
good way.
yes, but it takes the courage. It takes taking the time. You have to make that a priority, and it takes spending money to learn.
That's
But I want to
right.
say this: people who show up, people who step in, people who challenge themselves are the ones who get the lives that they want in every way. Do you know what I mean? You have to take a chance
Yeah.
and lean in and spend some energy, whether you want to make $1 million or build a healthy relationship. You have to step in and learn how that works. That's what that's why coaching is so popular, right? In every sense of the word. Basketball coaches or football coaches have a coach. Do you know what I mean? Like this, every celebrity has a coach beyond their coach and the team
That's right.
to make
Yeah.
them ultimate, right? Like the ultimate like athlete. The same way in business. You want to make a ton of money, hire a business coach. You want to be fit, hire a fitness coach. You want a good relationship, hire a relationship coach. And the people who do win. So I understand, that life sometimes is complicated, and it's your choice. So my favorite line is, "You're not responsible for what happened to you as a child. You're not responsible for any of that. But as an adult, you're 100% responsible to fix yourself, to live the life you were born
Yeah,
to
and to
live.
transform. Yeah,
Boom, become
transform.
you, the person you were born to be. You have to clean it up. And some of us have terrible, terrible beginnings, and it has to be done. Otherwise, you get stuck. And now, see, the world's a
It's an
terrible place.
investment, finally. Yes, it's an investment in money, but it's an investment also
In your
for all your
life,
life.
in your
Yeah,
future.
because, yeah,
Yeah, I always
it's
say,
like
like,
when you do healing, it's the same, but here you need to heal what is not working in
yes,
relationship to be able to meet your perfect match
yes.
and
And
finally invest all your life in it. It's worthy of the investment, I would
oh my,
say, money wise
yeah,
and time wise,
all of
because,
it,
like you
all of it.
mentioned, it will take a certain time.
Yeah,
Like in everything, yeah, we didn't build the world in one day.
right.
Yes.
No, it's interesting, and it's like, again, everybody who's successful steps in, gets somebody to help them, some kind of coaching, some kind of, right? And in the end, again, these are people that win. So it's not for everybody,
It's
but
what
the
leads
ones
to
who do,
success.
do you know what I mean? Like on this, like I always say, like, what else do you have to do all day? Clean yourself up if you want to live the life that you want. Marriage, children, happiness, business, like do the work,
Work
as
on it.
as
Yeah.
people who do
Work
it,
on it.
who get ahead, and sort of that's a
Hmm.
privilege for me to help my clients
Yeah.
show up and they're ready. And really, that's really this. Same with your clients. It's not. It'd be
Oh,
nice if
yeah.
I could. It'd be nice if I could figure this out. I do like 4 sessions. We'll do it. I'm like, no, 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 no.
No,
You
no,
like
no. You
you
have
have
to
to be
invest
ready.
yourself
You have
fully.
to be
Yeah.
ready to step in and lean in hard,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
have to be curious, and you have to be ready to to let some stuff go.
Determined,
That's
courageous,
often
consistent. Yeah.
releasing old traumas and shake it off the body literally, right? So people are afraid often of change. I get it, that's our instinct as humans. We're afraid of change. We like to predict the future. That gives us a feeling of safety. But
Yes.
if you're broken, and we all are to some degree, you got to do the work. And this is, like I said, that's how you get the life that you were born to live, as opposed
You
to,
were speaking about car at the beginning, but
yeah,
somehow if you are broken in relationship, you're like a broken car, cannot work.
completely.
You have to repair. Like you
Ta-da.
repair a car.
Yes,
Same way.
yes,
Yeah.
and
And you
and
need to go to see a specialist to repair your car. Then repair yourself if you want to succeed.
you got it.
Ay, yes. Andre, do
Yes,
you
Dory.
have a final message or a
Yes,
word of wisdom
yes,
to share before we close
yes,
this
and I also have
podcast?
2 gifts for your listeners. So if I may, after that, I can
Yes.
give the gift. But the message I always leave is that think for yourself. Think for yourself. The culture says you don't need no man. Really? The culture says men are all cheaters. No. The culture says you can't trust men, so you have to boss babe. Okay. Look at the results, right? So, what's happening is if you follow the culture right now, it makes it almost impossible to create healthy relationships. Women, the culture says men have to be sweet and sensitive and vulnerable. No, that's a girl. That's not going to work. And women don't respect those guys. They just don't, right? Women don't respect guys that are soft. They don't feel safe with them, simply. So the nice guys thing, women want nice guys. No, you don't. You want a man. And a man knows who he is, and he leads respectfully and with sensitivities, and will take care of you in ways that you can't even imagine. So, right? So think for yourself. If, a lot of women have been polluted by the feminist movement, right? To believe that men are dangerous and toxic. That's crap. That's not true. Boys are, absolutely, but boys, a very small percentage, or a small percentage of men. So learn to avoid these guys. Do you know what I mean? So, and then other women, like, mom made some terrible choice. She married a criminal or a guy who's a loser, and she'll teach her daughter to never, never let yourself be caught up by men because so her stuff, mother's injuries become a daughter's trauma. Do you
Yes.
know what I mean? You can't trust men. So women are like, everybody's afraid. Women are afraid to be hurt, afraid to step in, afraid to be vulnerable. And, they say they want nice guys, and they don't want nice guys. They put nice guys in the friend zone. So the masculine men are looking for feminine women that don't exist in our culture very much. They exist, but we raise you to be man, right? It doesn't work. So the guys that you want, the guys that you want are looking for femininity, warmth, radiance. Period. So if you think a boss babe attitude, makes you important or interesting, it does not. Men don't care about your money. Men don't care about your master's degrees. Men don't care about any of that, because a real man will have his
Yeah, the
own.
boys and the losers, yes.
Absolutely. The
Not the
losers,
men.
the boys
Yeah.
will be impressed by that and encourage you to get in a promotion while he's on the
Yeah.
couch spooning the dog and smoking a joint, right? That's a feminine man who loves women to work hard because she makes him comfortable. It's inside out. Inside out. So what works better is still pretty traditional with the modern side. So again, my point is think for yourself. You want to be a mother and a wife, go be a mother and a wife. Forget your feminist friends and your feminist teachers and your mother who made a terrible choice. Think for yourself. Do not be driven by fear. Be inspired that it's fixable, that's possible, that it exists. That's a different approach, right? Same with men. Women are not crazy. We make them crazy often because we don't understand how they work. Got it, right? So there are lovely women out there who don't ever feel.
Learn the book recipe, like for
Yeah,
cooking.
it's because the women don't feel safe any longer. So this is why they can't let go, right? So what does a woman need to feel safe, dude? It's not that hard,
Mm.
but you have to, lead
But most
respectfully.
don't know because
No
nobody
one
told
knows.
them.
No,
That's the problem.
and the culture will
Yeah.
keep you exactly upside down. And so
Yeah.
forget the culture, think for yourself. That's my message. Oh, my goodness.
Mhm.
Ready for my gift? Gifts.
Yes, there you go.
Sweet. So, like I told you, I do a lot of podcasts and thank you for
Uh-huh.
for
You're
having me on your
welcome. It
podcast
was a
because
pleasure. And we
I'm
will have another one, by the
oh
way.
well, we could do
More
many, but
deeper and more profound.
my mission is to spread this to the world. There
Mhm.
is hope. It is doable. Relationships,
Yeah, and it's
healthy
time.
relationships
It's
are
time.
possible.
It's time.
It's well, but and again, if you follow the culture, you'll struggle. You'll make each other wrong, and it's not
Mm.
going to work. And now you're miserable and whatever. So I do a lot of podcasts. People call me a disruptor. I think you're a disruptor. Disruptors are people who bring new idea, new thoughts, make people think or rethink. You know what I mean? So thank you for being disruptor with me. I'm trying to
I like to
disrupt the
disrupt
system.
everything.
Well, but that's what we do as podcasters,
I like
and
to break the system belief and
that's
go
a
beyond.
there you go. That's that's a disruptor, right? So
Yeah.
everybody has a podcast is some kind of a disruptor. It's trying to get people to think or rethink or reevaluate, right?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
thank you for helping me spread the word and being a disruptor to break the system that's not working. Anyway, so because I do a lot of podcasts, like I said, 3, sometimes 4 a week, I noticed because I used to have my own podcast, there's this 2 type listeners typically. Are you ready? And we'll let the audience qualify themselves. So
Okay.
the first type of listeners, I call them the information seekers, right? They're just kind of like, what's that masculine and feminine thing that I keep hearing about? Like, I'm a girl, I'm feminine. Like, being a girl doesn't, right? Like, so I call them information seekers. People are like stepping in going, what is all this about, right? And so if you're an information seeker lady, my gift to you today, I'm going to send you directly to my email. If you go to Andre, Andre, coaching, COACHING, the number 1 at gmail.com. And in the subject box, write Irresistible Book. I will send you a copy of the book that is the work that I've done with men. Are you ready? It's called The 5 Feminine Qualities High Value Men Find Absolutely Irresistible. Boom, boom,
La
boom. Right? So
la.
again, this is not my
Okay.
opinion. This is not my opinion.
Uh-huh.
That's men talking, ladies. It's 30 pages. It's 30 pages. It's a workbook. You have to fill it in. I sell it. I sell it on my website. You can have it for free. Just ask me,
Okay.
Irresistible Book, and you get a copy, and you'll get a sense of what men
Information
really
below
seeker.
the
Yeah,
video, into the
yeah,
description,
yep, yep,
everything
yep.
is written.
So beautiful. Like I said, this is man speaking, ladies, and it has nothing to do with your height and your hair color or your boobs or your butt. It has nothing. It's energetically how you show up that moves us. So again, information seekers, come and get it. Now, the other type listeners are people who kind of like resonated with what we talked about, right? Like, oh, wow, yeah, oh, wow. It's because I teach nature and science, right? It's not, and it resonates. I have like sometimes talk to feminists and they want to fight with me and tell me I'm a pig, and I go, ho, 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 I'm just teaching nature, and then all of a sudden, whoop, when they get quiet, and they go, I never really thought about it that way. I'm like, there you go, right? Anyway, my point is, if anybody listening resonated and you're one of those action takers, my favorite type people, if you want to take action because you realize that I could help with something, right? AndreCoaching1 at gmail.com. In the subject box, just write talk now, right? And I'll send you a copy of my calendar link. You'll book a call one-on-one like you and I are having right now, and we'll talk about where you're stuck. What's the problem? In 15 minutes, I do this all day long. In 15 minutes, we'll go right to childhood and understand where the wheels came off and why. If you're a feminine man, how that happened back then. And if you're a masculine woman, what were derailment back then? And so that in itself, if you understand that you're not broken, you're just a product of your past, and we can fix it because we can. And
Can
then,
repair it, yeah.
and what's the dream, right? And then we'll talk about if you want to jump in, small, medium, large. I guess it's an investment, but there's a bunch of different ways to do this. Some people start slow and then build it up. Some people go bongo right away because they want this to be over. They want what they want, and their spirit is calling for it. So again, Andre Coaching One, talk now, and I'll send you calendar link. We'll have a conversation. No pressure. This is who I am. I'm here to help. If you want the help, come and get it. Right? And if you want both gifts, ask for both gifts. And I encourage people to email me and ask me questions.
I would say ask for both.
Seriously, just come at me.
All the
Come at me.
detail below the video, by the
Yeah.
way. You just have to click on more and
Yeah.
you will see all the detail.
And all the
Andre,
social media, I'm all over the place. All social media is under my name or
all the
Project
detail
Equinox.
are below
yeah.
also.
Beautiful.
Instagram for Andre, Facebook also,
All of it.
website. All the detail
Thank
are
you.
below. You just have to click on more on this YouTube video. Andre, I want to thank you for this very interesting conversation, and I'm sure we will have another podcast where we will go much, much deeper
I'd love that. I'd love that.
about the same subject. Yeah, me too. And I'm passionate, then I like to ask questions also. And I'm still learning, by the way. Even I know many things because I'm a therapist, I'm a coach,
Yep.
it's my job. But
Yep.
I mean, I'm not specialized in relationship. There are many things I know, but it's always interesting to hear also the feedback, the knowledge of someone else. You get
For
my
sure.
point,
For
and
sure. For sure.
your stories, your experience you had with people, and also the fact that first relationship coach and then dating coach. This is an amazing, I would say, long road that for sure leads to success if you want to take a session with Andre. Guys, girls, thank you for watching. And if you want me to bring new subject on the platform, please send me a message. My details are also below. Much love. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.